Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Theoretical Doctor Audio Blogs. Here I will be sharing on my experience as an ETD or ED house officer in the Orthopaedics Posting. The link to the article of this audio blog is available in the description below if you would prefer to read on it instead. Otherwise, let's begin. Being a house officer in the emergency and trauma department was one of the enjoyable shifts I've ever experienced in the orthopedic posting. It is filled with adrenaline, uncertainties, and lots of walking and running here and there. Our shift begins from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. for the morning shift and 7 p.m. till 7 a.m. for the night shift, well, at least on paper. For most of my colleagues, they despise working in the ETD or ED. However, personally, I would choose this shift any day over wards. On top of being the medical officers or registrar's assistant, there are a lot of hands-on procedures as well. Hence, it can be such a heavy duty. The location is of course at the emergency department, in the POP room in particular. Well, at least in the hospital that I'm practicing in. The job scope, location, and system may differ in other places. Number 1. Equip thyself. Before I proceed into the job list of an ETD houseman, it is important for you to be well equipped. The last thing you would want to do is to run from one location to another while the medical officer, registrar, or specialist is clerking and examining the patient. The essential items that I always carry with me are a sling bag. Inside are pens, chop, orange stick, monofilament test, sterile swab for CNS, gloves, tendon hammer, permanent marker, and micropore file. Inside are x-ray forms, KKM forms, MRI consent forms, operation or procedure consent forms, blood consent forms, medication charts, and antibiotic charts. Lots of plain papers or continuation sheets on a clipboard. My special ETD bag and Doppler. My bag, well, it consists of blade, gauze, big and small, crepe bandages, green towels and sutures, nylon 3.0 or 4.0, Prolene 5.0 or 6.0, blood tubes, syringes, needles, alcohol swabs, and urine bottles for pus or tissue samples. Do not forget tons of water and food or bread or snacks, and if you are working the night shift, your laptop, adapter, and the HDMI connector if you are in charge of preparing for handover the following day. These items, of course, I leave it behind in my main knapsack in the POP room. It is too heavy to be carried around since I am already carrying a bunch of stuffs. Number 2, WhatsApp. We are extremely WhatsApp dependent. Hence, it is important to ensure that you have excellent internet connection. Before I proceed to leave for work, if I am the morning shift, I will create a WhatsApp group for the on-call team for that particular day as well as a personal ETD group for myself. Create a WhatsApp group and rename it as ETD followed by the date. For example, ETD 23rd of October 2023 till 24th of October 2023. Edit the group description. I would usually prepare this list and create the group the night before. Thus, in the morning, I would just proceed with the rest. Next, I will then proceed to add the house officers in charge first into the group and share the link into our Houseman posting group for others to join. Then I will proceed to edit the on-call group name and description. For the description, I would copy and paste the same description from the ETD group. Finally, 5 to 10 minutes before 7 a.m., I will add the registrar, OT call, ward call, and ETD call into the group followed by these 3 messages. The referral list, the links to the slides and the handover, the referral list, the links to the handover slides and the admission list, as well as me greeting the team good morning. The handover slides and admission list can be obtained from the previous ETD group, and it aids the medical officer during Passover. When all of these are settled, it is only then I leave for work, literally. I usually leave for work around 6:50 a.m. or 7 a.m. as long as it is before 7:30 a.m. since Passover only begins at 7:30 a.m. during weekdays and much later during weekends. 3. Stock up the POP room. It is our duty as house officers to ensure the POP room is stocked and clean. At least for me, I like to keep the area tidy. Essential items that should be available in abundance in the POP room are orthobuns, big ones, crepe bandages, forms such as X-ray forms, KKM forms, medication charts, antibiotic charts, operation or procedure consent forms, blood consent forms, MRI consent forms, pinkies, those pink absorbable blankets, green towels, bed sheets, gauze, big and small, saline for irrigation and drainage, blades, sutures, orange sticks, urine bottles for samples, and at least one skin traction. I usually stop by the ward or ETD or ED storeroom to smuggle these items for the POP room, as well as to leave my knapsack, and only then I will proceed to the ortho clinic or Passover room for handover, which is at 7:30 a.m. during weekdays and 8 a.m. during weekends. Handover and rounds. The handover is interesting. It is important to have both teams there before commencing, which are the post-call ETD team from the previous day, as well as the on-call team for the day. The post-call team would present the cases of the admitted patients, and usually they will be questioned on their plan and management by the specialists. Personally, it reminds me of back in medical school where we had to clerk the patient, examine, and present a case-based discussion or CBD. The length of the Passover depends on the amount of admissions from the prior day. After Passover is followed by rounds with the current on-call team and post-call team, as well as the current specialist on call for the day. Only the patients who are stranded in the ETD or ED and certain patients upstairs will be seen. Most of the time, it is only within the emergency department. Thus, what if all patients have been admitted? Well, no rounds then. 5. Time to stand by. Keep a lookout for the referral list in the WhatsApp group, which usually gets updated by the ETD call, ward call, or registrar. In the emergency department, the patients are in green zone, yellow zone, or red zone. If the patients are from the green zone, we have to look for the triage, the patient, bring the patient to the POP room, update the name and IC on the referral list, upload any x-rays, upload wound pictures with a green background towel, clerk the patient if you have time. For the patients in the yellow or red zone, look for the case note, identify the patient, update the name and IC on the referral list, upload any x-rays, upload wound pictures with a green background towel, and clerk the patient if you have time. Eventually, the list gets updated, and if you are from the morning shift, you will be carrying out your duties till 7 p.m. after handing over to the person in charge at night. Slides and admission list. In terms of slides and admission list, it is our duty to update all admitted cases, be it under peri or ward, into the slides so the medical officers can present it during handover. The basic information that needs to be there are patients' details, their weight, height, and BMI, a short presenting history, as well as the examination, some clinical images, x-rays or CT scan report or MRI report, any blood investigations, the diagnosis, and the plan. In terms of admission list, the information from the first slide, diagnosis, and plan is updated. Personally, I like to create multiple drafts of the slides beforehand, around 15 to 20 cases. Not that I would want that to happen. However, at least I wouldn't need to waste extra time copying and pasting just so I can edit them again. It is merely for my convenience. Being in the emergency department, I learned that it is very unpredictable. The day or night could be extremely cold, meaning quiet, with 1 or 2 patients coming in only to be discharged, followed by a trauma alert or a sea of patients flooding in next. Similarly, the day could be burning with a sea of referrals back to back, followed by a cold night with 0 to 2 admissions. Or it could be either cold or burning all throughout. The influx of patients on a daily basis varies, as well as the variety of cases. It is without a doubt that Certain cases are quite common and tends to get boring after some time. Nevertheless, every day is still different and special in its own way. It may take a while for one to adapt or it may be fast. Personally, I have always enjoyed my ETD experience in orthopedics, and each medical officer provided me with a bunch of things to learn every time, and each experience is unique in its own way. If there's one place that I definitely come alive, it would be here, followed by in the operating theater or EMOT. If you are due to enter the orthopedics posting in your internship or housemanship soon, I wish you all the very best. And I hope that the posting is kind to you as it was towards me, in addition to learning a bunch of useful and interesting knowledge and procedures. Thank you for listening to this audio blog. Do stay tuned for more, which will be available every Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Remember to click on the subscribe button as well as the bell button so you won't miss out on any upcoming audio blogs.